the superintendent's prerogative, once we enter the fiscal year, to make the necessary shifts. But we focused on the total budget that was as level funded as we could get, and that was an addition of $150,000 with some guidance and with that motion intact. I don't think it's out of order, as the superintendent has asked, for us to consider a second packet that he could also be equipped with to present to the FinCom that this is one version and here's a second version. And I would strive to have the second version include level service to all areas. And my impression, when we have a list of updated textbooks, that's level service. Okay, that's not a new need. That's not something that came out of any novel in this library. It's a regularly planned for occurrence of an expense, and that's an ongoing level service approach. So, yeah, certainly our textbooks should be in that level service budget, replacement of textbooks on a regular annual basis. I don't know if $72,000 in text and instruction material isn't every year, but I'd like to see it starting to be programmed in. So again, my discussion is for a second motion rather than replacing the motion previously. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle, did you have anything to add?
This whole process there's going to be people unhappy no matter what happens. You're going to have people unhappy if we go in with a level service budget. You're going to have people unhappy if we go in asking for more. You know, and I think this is about the kids, you know, and what's best for the kids at this point. And I don't know if going into the level service budget I don't think it's in their best interest. I think we need to improve, and they deserve that. I think when we voted 2 weeks ago, I think the vote kind of came down in haste. So, I mean, you know, it's a tough process, and there's not going to be anybody coming out, you know, winning in this process, I don't think.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Of hers. I just wanted, if you can expand upon, how was it done in haste?
I just think, I know for myself, I went in with a slightly different expectation than what, and speaking only for myself, I ended up voting for. I think for me, that was more the process. I think it took a very quick shift from talking about cuts or revenue increases to suddenly not any of that and just going in with asking for more money. That's all. Just more speaking for myself.
I'm going to say that I think what I've been witnessing in the Westport school system in regards to the budget over the last 3 years is a pretty serious erosion of services. And I think, last year's layoffs and cuts, stand out. I think that, again, I say this and I believe it's true. We are the only department that has to get better. By law, federal law and state law, we have to improve what we do. A level funded budget is an erosion of services. Just to go off a little bit, I think the Prop 2.5 limit is designed to erode services, especially in a school district. Expenses increase at a bigger rate than 2.5% per year, and when you're limited to that for a budget increase, then that means every year you are eroding services. I've been told by state legislators, and my feeling is that The 2.5 law was designed to be overridden once in a while to account for that erosion, and it's never been done here in Westport. I think we are at the bottom of the barrel, and when Dr. Colley comes before us and advocates for a raise, I know the kind of alarm bells that sets off on the TV. I know what people, they hear, they get very upset over that. But the flip side of that is the people here are among the very, very bottom of what teachers get paid in Massachusetts. I'm not going to reiterate what Dr. Colley said. He said it very eloquently. I think the budget that we approved 2 weeks ago is unacceptable, and I voted for it. So I would be prepared to see another motion to adjust it.
I'll make that motion. Would I make a motion to revisit that, or?
Could be done one of two ways. Either you can revisit the motion, or you can do what Mr. Sullivan was suggesting, to make a complete different motion, so you can go in with two options into the town. I mean, I'll do it either way. I just need to know what to bring to the town.
Did you have something ready to go, Mr. Sullivan?
Do you want to get a second first?
Well, I'm thinking that maybe your
So-
motion might. She didn't make a motion.
I did not make an official motion. I'm
Okay.
just asking.
Yeah, I had a little bit to add. I had, in hearing the discussion, I just want to clarify, a level service budget is going to come in above where we agreed to. In other words, the level service budget is going to include
Increases.
providing the same type services that we've provided this year. And so the impacts on further reductions in classroom teachers, which would increase student size, is not what we're looking at yet. So I thought there was a motion to, but being no motion, I would like to make a motion to ask Dr. Colley to prepare a second rendition of FY12 proposed budget, which would reflect a level service budget. It will not anticipate an increase in fees from, but a level service budget. I think that would represent the needs of the community. So,
You want to give
No,
me
so
a
that-
price range?
Well, I know we're still putting that motion out, but I've heard, and I personally agree with the setting aside the monies, the $100,000 for the raise. I would like to see that included.
no, certainly within a component of that discussion, and this is where it gets a little gray in the process we're under, is that we have some contractual obligations that may, and some that are anticipated. We can't discuss them, and a level service budget would make an assumption that some of those are there. So I would be in favor of removing that restriction, and that it would come before us at a later date.
You're looking for a number, though. So we
If you're going to go above the 14,960, how far you want me to go? 'Cause
No,
I
my
could
motion
see-
is to prepare something that would show us that. You would show us what that number is by virtue of a new packet that would have this presentation with,
Well, I guess what I would bring back to you is